What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon back in some Rugby 25 today with a slightly different video. I've been reading the comments on the previous videos of you guys asking some questions, a bit more about the other things going on in this game. One of the things that keeps coming up, a couple of you guys have mentioned about the player creator. Now, we touched on it very quickly when it was first released in the early access. We had a little bit of a look at what was going on with the character creation, but we didn't dive into it too much, and I really wanted to spend some time in the character creation and actually see if we can make a player and go through all of the options. So today, a bit of a longer video. I'll put some timestamps and stuff where it's a little bit more jumpy so you guys can skim through and get an overall look. But I thought it would be fun today to try and create a player. Now, I've seen other videos where people just make generic people, or they try and make themselves. I'm not a very unique looking individual. I'm just a pretty standard dude with dark hair that goes that way. There's not a lot of interesting facial features about me to try and recreate myself. I've had struggles with avatars in other games or the Miis in Nintendo Wii World. It's really hard to get someone to actually look like me because there's not enough features to distinguish myself. So I've gone back and thought, who are players that aren't going to be in this game, who it could be fun to see if we can recreate. So I'll put a picture up on screen for you guys. Some of you guys will know who this is. If you're newer to rugby, maybe a little bit younger, you don't know who this is. This is a player called Sebastian Chabal, who is a French international rugby player. This is him in the World Cup kit from 2007. We're throwing our minds back. Now, it's very unlikely Chabal is going to be in this game unless they introduce some sort of like icon players and what have you. So I thought this would be a really fun player to see if we could recreate. I think he's got enough unique features with his beard and his long hair that even if I do a terrible job, it will still look slightly like him. He's got a good build that I feel like it would also be able to fit quite well in the way the player bodies are built in this game. But I think there's enough technical aspects to him with the way his nose is, his brow is, the way he's got quite long hair. Long hair is difficult to nail in a game like this, that will actually test the depth of Big Ant's player creation. So that is the player we're going to go for today. We'll sort of go through all of the available options. Probably going to be a longer video, like I said. Skim through to the different sections if you want to get a bit of a quicker look at it. But if you're someone who really wants to dive into taking a look at the players, then we'll be going through it in this one today. So starting out with the presets, where do we want to begin with? Now, Chabal's quite a big, beefy boy. I feel like that guy's got a bit too much going on in the old guts department. He is certainly a heavy sort of chest dude. I don't know who's going to be closest, but that guy's even taller. I think preset 1's looking pretty solid for me. Identity. Let's start up with his first name. Okay, so we've gone through and entered his details super quickly there. Unfortunately, there's no Chabal in the commentary surname. So we're not going to be able to use that, which is a bit of a shame. We'll do Chalarou for now. It's more sort of French. Not a lot we can do there. That's a real shame. They do have a match to surname, but it's just not an option. I thought that would have been pretty cool. Now I'm going to have to work out where to position my face as we want to go. I feel like hopefully with doing the appearance, hopefully it will move it over there. So his height is 191 centimeters apparently. Very hard to get that bang on with the slider as it is. His weight is down as 113, so we'll up... Oh, no, we'll go this way, apparently. That's weird that to make it... Oh, this is a weird system. Up or down is actually heavy. I don't know what the... This feels like a weird slider to have for weight, but hey, we'll go with it for now. I don't know if it matters about left or right. Does it put the weight in a slightly different place? Doesn't look like it. 113 is how much he weighs. His head size. I don't want to be mean to the guy. He's got a relatively large head. He was a bit of a monster. Let's go sort of middle-ish, I'm going to guess. I don't really know. Body type. He was much... He's a broad guy. He's got quite a broad shoulder length. I feel like that number 2 is pretty good. Body figure. This seems to be pretty similar. I feel like that's too sort of wide in the stomach area. He's certainly got a decent sort of shoulder width on him. Let's go for that. Body physique. He was built like a bit of a unit. Let's go pretty beefy. Neck. Very hard to tell a neck. He's got a lot of beard on the go, so hard to judge a neck. That one's going to be a bit more all over the place. Your traps. He does have some decent traps on him, to be fair. Again, can't move this one up and down. This one's just left to right. Let's go full on the traps. Your upper torso. I'm gonna lie, not really seeing a massive difference there. We'll chuck that all the way. Lower torso. The problem is it sort of makes him kind of wide. And he's not necessarily wide. He was more kind of square. I'm wondering whether I might need to adjust the body physique a little bit to look a little bit more square. I feel like that makes him look pudgy. And he certainly wasn't pudgy. I was trying to just get a slightly more square shape to his thing. I think 3's okay for now. We'll go with 3. Arms. He's a bit of a beefy guy. He has actually got really large shoulders, actually, compared to his biceps. This seems to increase broadly everything. So we'll go relatively high. It's some pretty big arms. Upper arms. This is what we want. We got some. Again, this sort of does your shoulder and your sort of bicep tricep area at the same time, as opposed to maybe looking at them independently. But he certainly had some decent sized arms to him. Lower arms. They're pretty uniform. Legs. Again, he wants some pretty beefy legs. It doesn't necessarily look like it's adding muscle. It looks almost like he's just getting chunkier legs. No, yeah, you know, nothing too wild. Looking at some of my reference photos here, let's go kind of proportional, I would say. Let's do some proportional leg sizes. Upper legs, again, it's probably going to just make everything. He actually had quite a sort of narrow hip angle to him. I don't think he wants to go overly ridiculous. I actually kind of like the legs as they are. So that's our main height bit. Skin tone. The skin tone is actually not like crazy far off. I'm going to go for that sort of skin tone. Crow's feet. Again, very hard to tell with some of these. I mean, it's nice that they have all these different options. But, you know, how far are you going to take this? It's nice that they are there, but this is quite in depth. I don't actually see a scar anywhere appearing on his face there. Cheek redness. No, not a lot of cheek redness on the go. Nose redness. Face redness. Not a lot of redness generally across the goes. Eye socket tint. He had some pretty deep set eyes. So, you know, we could add a bit of tint. So we give him some slightly deeper lip tints. Your eyebrow highlight. How does this work? Again, not really noticing any difference there. Cheek highlight. Nothing standing out too much. I'm gonna maybe avoid too many of the highlights and what have you. Right, actual head. Let's get into the real nitty gritty. So face shape. I actually don't think this face is necessarily too bad. He has. Oh, in fact, he did have some kind of. We had some quite pointy cheekbones to him. That one might not be too bad. He also had quite a long face on him. Oh, that guy's got a. That's a Sebastian Chabal looking face to me. Number 5's looking good. Nah, let's go back to number 5. That looks like an aggressive looking individual. Head shape. He actually sort of flattened out towards the top. That's looking pretty. I think that one looks good enough for me. Jaw shape. Again, hard to tell with a big beard, but he does look like a guy who's going to have quite a pronounced jawline. I feel like that might be a little bit too much. Number 6 looking fine. Head. Ooh, okay, you can go real weird with the head. Okay, he does have quite a long head, but it might be the beard that sort of makes it look like that. And then he's not really got a wide head per se. I'm kind of thinking somewhere around there. Your skull, he's got quite a square head towards the top. Let's go kind of up that way. Temple, slightly out. Nothing too wild. Forehead. He's certainly got quite a broad forehead on him. So let's go up there. Your brow. He does actually have quite a close brow. Let's go somewhere like there. Cheekbone. Now he has some pretty pronounced cheekbones. Hard to kind of tell what we're working with here. It's sort of just moving his cheekbones up and down. He's actually got quite high cheekbones. They're quite pronounced. Let's go kind of out there somewhere. Cheek generally. Ooh. Now he is a man who's got certainly got some defined cheek line, so I think he's going to want quite a narrow set of cheeks on him. And again, pronounced actual cheekbones. Let's go out there. Your jaw. Again, I've got to sort of make room for a beard because it's going to come in there eventually. He's got a. I think he's got a little bit of a longer sort of face, but he's got. It does sort of taper in. He doesn't really have like a wide face. He was, very athletic sort of design. Chin. Again, hard to tell. We've got a beard in front of it. Let's just give him kind of a generic chin. Assign player face to player. So that is a way to actually just add a player's face. We could give that a go at the end and see if it actually comes up with a better result than what I've made. Nose shapes. Now, he has quite a pointy nose to him, but it certainly has an upwards look to it. It's quite a straight ridge. It points upwards, though. I kind of want to aim for the straight bridge and then see if I can mess about with it afterwards. I don't really know how to sort of adjust this one wildly. He's got a relatively wide nose. I mean, he's a rugby player, right? You bash your face into plenty of people. So let's go kind of there, and then I kind of want to lift his nose up a little bit, up towards there. Your nose root. I don't even know what that means. I guess it means where it starts. Is it just thinness at the top? Oh, it is. It's thinness at the top. Yeah, nothing too wild. Let's sort of go like there. The nose bridge. I don't really want to mess about with that too much. The nose tip. There we go. That's what I wanted to. I wanted to lift that up a little bit. It might be that my reference photo has him looking up slightly, but I do think he has a slightly upward look about his nose. That might be slightly too high. Let me drop that down a little bit more. Let's drop it down to there. Your old septum. Actually, kind of flat. Don't know. Nostrils. My goodness, we're getting really into it now, where we're getting into nostril size. I feel like that might be slightly above my pay grade. Eye color. I think just brown. I'm not gonna lie. I've never looked wildly deeply into the eyes of Sebastian Cheval. I'm gonna guess he's got brown eyes. Your limbal rings. I notice a very small amount of change there. Right, eye shapes. His eye position is actually kind of like closer together than what I've got going on. Eye shape is... He's got quite sort of ovally eyes. Is there a way to sort of affect the back? That's actually kind of closer to his eyes. They're quite oval. I kind of like that one because it's got a bit more lid. That's sort of the reference photo I'm working with. Your eye position. Actually... Man, I feel like this is going to be hard to nail. He's got such a rigid brow. Sort of there-ish. Your iris size? I mean, he's got some pretty beefy irises on the go there. Inner eyes. What does that mean? There. Yeah, he's not too crazy. Let's sort of go there. Eyes offset. Oh, like how sort of open his eyes are. I guess pretty open. He's looking pretty mean. I think we've done a pretty good job with this. Hairstyle. Okay, like a billion different hairstyles to go through. Now, Cheval is a very unique looking individual for having long hair. So it'd be interesting to see how we can nail this down, because he does actually kind of have like loose hair. So you kind of want it to be loose, but he didn't necessarily have it. When I think of Sebastian Cheval, I think of him having just loose, long hair, as opposed to having it, you know, tied up in like a man bun or something. That's a bit more shaved on the sides. That's not really what we're looking for. A little bit more strandly, but I think it's even longer than that. I think we still need to go beyond. That one's getting a bit longer. It doesn't look like we're covering the ears. Very interestingly, actually, all of these hairstyles don't cover the ears, and that's something I can't say I've noticed as I've been playing through this. I wonder if there'll be a setting later on to sort of cover it. That one's like, okay, we're beginning to cover the ears. Those two just seem to be the same hairstyle. Very sleek looking hair here. Headband, frizzy, a little bit longer, another hairband. Okay, I've gone through them about 3 times, and I'm down to feeling like it's either got to be 146 or 147. It's very tricky to get either or. It doesn't look like we've got a lot of like hair covering the ears and stuff, which might have made it a bit easier. Really can't get either of them to be bang on. I kind of feel like, even though I'm not that happy with this one, I feel like I could maybe attempt more with this one because it's already kind of wavy. Maybe we can do some more stuff with the actual hair color. Let's see what we're working with. Wow, we got straight into just outright blonde. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking kind of darker. Maybe sort of a dark, it's like black but brown. That's actually pretty close. Let's go with that one. Secondary hair color. It does get kind of light towards the bottom in some of these photos as well. Let's go for that sort of a lighter brown on the end of it. Hair tips style. Oh. Okay, let's absolutely go back to the one I was already on. Eyebrow style. Okay, we got some eyebrow style. Okay, these are already... I mean, when it's Cheval, I feel like you have to do some pretty intense eyebrows. He's actually got kind of more rounder eyebrows, and they actually go further back. There you go. That's a Cheval looking eyebrow right there. Body hair color. Again, just that kind of darker... It's not black. It's kind of like a dark brown. That's sort of like a reddish brown. Kind of like that one. That's kind of close. Right, stubble type. I don't think they change anything. Okay, Mustache. Okay, now he does have a mustache to go with his beard. Do we have beard? Do beards consist of the mustache as well, or are they separate? They are separate. Okay, let's do mustache to start us off then. So we're going to need... Oh, we've already got a beard in there. Well, that's looking good already. We can work with this. How do we create a full beard? It's kind of like... I mean, that's kind of what we want to go for here. He also does have his pretty intense sideburns on the go. He's certainly got some... They are pretty half-cheek sideburns, to be fair. Might be a little bit low down. Oh, that's a bit more beardy. That's a bit more beardy. We've got a bit more of a Shabal-looking beard on the go. At least that's a beard. Let me go over to the chin, because we might find a better... No, let's go big beard. I also want to change this hair color. This hair color doesn't seem quite what I'm aiming for. Oh, no. Okay, maybe not. Beard color. Okay, there we go. Overall, it's certainly darker. Which one did I use for his hair? I want to try and get it sort of the same color. He's got a pretty dark set of hair there. Secondary beard color. There's not really a lot of secondary color shade to it, but we'll add a little bit just to give him a bit more depth. Beard tips style 1. Body hairstyle 2. Again, I don't think that's doing a great deal for me. It's a bit of a shame I can't make the mustache join the mouth in quite the same way. That ends up being the best connection. But that would be a better thickness for the mustache. I really can't sort of choose which to sort of go for. That's sort of like a best of both worlds. Let's go with that one. The sideburns, again, I can't really... I kind of want it to build to his beard. He actually does have a very slight divot in this picture towards the end, but he's got a more bushy beard. But it's a shame that the beard doesn't line up with the chin beard, because he very clearly rounds out to join his face. That feels too short. That doesn't quite get where I want it to be, and then that's too short as well. I feel like I'm going to have to end up with there to get the proper beard look on him. Which is a bit of a shame there isn't more to do beards-wise, or, you know, at least be able to change the shape and style of that beard. I might mess about with the chin a bit more and see if I can get that to fix. Now, tattoos, I don't think he has any tattoos. Nothing that, you know, outwardly looks super visible to me. So I guess we're going to try and find 0 tattoos, but, you know, at least we can show off that there is tattoos in the game. Let me just make sure that this is actually no tattoos. There we go. No tattoos to go over in the game, but I'll also show off just, I guess, what sort of it is in the game for anyone who's wondering. We also have a nice little variance of different. It's just that looks terrifying. It's like a child with a skull. That's alrighty. Big Ant bringing in some big tattoos there. So you can do child with skull tattoo if you want to. Right, compression sleeves and stuff. Not necessarily the arms is something I wouldn't characterize. He did used to have quite a lot of strapping on one of his legs. That doesn't necessarily look like boots and socks. We'll have a look at the boots and socks as well. So, color 1. Oh, his actual boots. He has quite black boots in the photo I've got in front of me. They just look black. I mean, it's very hard to be able to judge a lot from that. Let's go for some generic black looking boots. Sock, we have got some long socks. He likes his long socks. Sock height up, down, which I think just sort of reverts it back around. Headgear, I've never associated headgear with Shabal, but there is your headgear to add in, and then your compression sleeve. Interesting that there's... Oh, hang on, left knee. I was gonna jump the gun there. Left, what did he used to have on? So the picture I've got here is in with a right knee. He has strapping on his right knee. Okay, you can just have strapping, yes or no. So let's chuck some strapping on him as well. Shorts style. You know, we were at a different age for rugby, so he had some sort of baggy shorts. Didn't really have a lot of... Yeah, he just kind of had shorts. There wasn't really like compression shorts or anything underneath. It was more like just generic shorts, right? 2007, we're throwing ourselves back a little bit there. Right, what do we want to mess with in terms of our player? Because I'm still not saying this looks close to Shabal at the minute. Did I miss a bunch of these options to do with the head? Mouth, mouth. Oh, I can make his mustache extend out by dropping his mouth down. That kind of makes it look slightly better, actually. Upper lip. Yeah, hang on. Let's do this. We can maybe get away with this. We can try and pronounce his lower lip a bit more to try and make his mustache look a little bit longer. Middle lip. How do you have a middle lip? Do people have... Oh, it's like the the divot in the middle of your lip. I had no idea what middle lip meant then. Do people have 3 lips? Your mouth, generally, we've already done that. Mouth shapes. You actually had a bit more of a straight mouth. I guess we'll sort of go with that one for now. It's kind of hard to get them really nailed down. Ear positions. He's got long hair. It's hard to judge what his ears are looking like, really. Give him a slightly longer nose. I feel like I've made the tip slightly too high up as well. I feel like that needs to be slightly more lower down. A lot of my the photos that I have from him as well also have him slightly more, I don't know, olive skinned than what I've got going on at the minute. I'm still not happy with his sort of width, the lower. He did have. It's so weird that it sort of just increases generally his stomach as opposed to sort of making the midriff, wider to give a bit more of a built triangle shape. I've had a little bit of a flick around. You will have seen a big cut here to where I've sort of messed about with this a little bit more. I have tried to get it. It's not actually as bang on as I was hoping for going into the video. I actually thought I'd have a really good shot at this by spending some real good time with it. There's a few limitations, specifically in the challenge I set myself by going for someone like Shabal. The hair options. Just not being able to get that longer sort of flowy hair. It's interesting that, they'll be adding the sort of women's teams in. You almost feel like there should be some of the women's hair would actually allow longer hair that maybe you could bring into the men's to give you that longer sort of aspect to it. The beard is one that really is annoying me. I can't round off the beard. Shabal, he's a proud Frenchman over there. They enjoy looking good. His beard, considering quite a big bushy beard, he always had it quite, well designed. It was quite a nice rounded beard. You can't quite get that beard to line up, and it's very annoying. There's a clear divot in where your sort of mutton chops end compared to where the beard begins. I was hoping I'd be able to do more of that, or maybe just even have settings to be able to move that around a bit more and make it a bit more. I actually wonder if I could just move his chin down and try and... I still can't really get that to... I can't get it to join in. In fact, by moving his chin down, I think it moves the mutton chops down as well. I don't know. That might be slightly better just in terms of being able to round out his chin. I just think he has a much more impressive beard than this. I want to give him the credit for having a big old beard like that. But this has been my attempt at using this in-depthly for the first time, trying to make it. It's not as good as I wanted it to be. I don't think you can look at this picture and outwardly say that is Sebastian Shabal. Obviously, I'm not using the face scan technology that the guys over at Rugby 25 are having, so they're going to get much better pictures. It would be nice to have some better variants, I think, for long hair going over the ears and being able to go down the actual side of the head. Body build-wise, I actually don't think it's crazy far off. Maybe his arms could do with being slightly thinner and adding a bit more muscularity to them. At the minute, it's very much one level of muscularness. Is that a word, maybe? And all you're doing is expanding outwards and inwards, rather than maybe making them look more toned. And actually maybe look, because he had quite muscular arms, whereas I feel like my creation under my face here, it kind of looks like I'm part of him. His arms are a bit more just outwardly large, generally, rather than necessarily having more muscularity to them. But that's what we're going to go for, guys. That is my attempt at trying to make a Sebastian Shabal face. Give it a rating out of 10. I'm not going to say super high. I think it's kind of there. I wish there were slightly more options to be able to land it. Some of you guys have made really good creations as well. Let's quickly just test out as well. Let me save this one. I think that saved it. I hoped it's... I hope that saved it. Yes, it did. It did save it there. There is my Sebastian Shabal. You know what? It's not too terrible for a first attempt at something. Let me just do a create a player and let me see if I can get this face scan thing to work. So where was the face scan thing that I saw? Assign face Playface to player. That is not what I was expecting. I thought it was going to read the picture that I had and try and match it to his face. Instead, what it has done is given... has given him like a face tattoo of his own face. Slightly more nightmare fuel. Can I like change that? No. Well, guys, you let me know down in the comment section who did it better. Did the face scan adaptation do better, or did I do better with my version of Sebastian Chabal? You guys let me know. Which one's better? That's tickled me. I'm gone now. But yeah, that's a more in-depth look at how the player creative works, how well you can try and recreate, older players, maybe if you want to sort of add them back into your team. Can't really nail it down 100%. I would give my attempt there 5 out of 10, maybe. It is a guy with a beard. That's about as close as I've got to. Hopefully you've all enjoyed having a bit more of an in-depth look. Let me know any of the players you've been able to create far better than me, and I'll enjoy seeing some of your guys' creations on Discord as well. I hope you've all enjoyed this one today, guys. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.